Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minova Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it. Good morning, everyone. And good morning once again. There you go. Hey, how am I looking there? Good? Good morning once again, and welcome to another morning edition of Keeping It Real. Today is Tuesday, the 18th day of May. Can you believe it's May, folks? And with me today, of course, every Tuesday and every Friday is none other than guess who? Can you imagine who, folks? Can you guess? Can you whatever it is? Who's with me today? Morning on the other side.
Good morning, Norbert.
The morning.
Good morning, St. Lucia.
Hey.
Good morning, listeners to Keeping It Real. Good morning.
That's right. Somebody's full of energy this morning. I wonder why.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
I am.
Good morning, folks. Good morning and welcome again. Of course, I must look out there in the diaspora and say, woo! They all lined up already this morning, folks. Jamaica, Barbados, Puerto Rico, the US of A, around St. Lucia, US Virgin Islands, Canada. Montserrat. I haven't seen too many people come in from Montserrat. St. Croix, St. John's, St. Martin, Aruba. Good morning to you, Trinidad. Morning, St. Vincent. Morning, Grenada. UK, London, all over. We have a few from the UK there. Good morning to you, Jamaica. Did I call Jamaica? Barbados, ma. Morning, Beijing. Morning, Bermuda. Morning to you, and welcome once again to another morning edition of Keeping It Real. And to start things off right, of course, you should know what's going to be happening up there in the atmosphere, where the air is rare, and it comes down, well, you know where. Current temperature in Castries is a warm 81 degrees right now, folks. 81 degrees in Castries, going up today to a high of 86 with minimal chance of rain. The sun and the clouds are going to be playing hide and seek today. You know how that goes. Maybe localized little sprinkles here and there, but by and large, it's going to be a warm and cloudy day in St. Lucia. If you have the chance to go to the beach, unlike those who work and caught up in the office, whatever, go enjoy it. You know what? No crowds, observe the protocols. That's all there is to it. So 81 degrees, going up to a high today of 86. I'm Norbert Williams from the Sky FM Weather Center. How you like that, Minova? How you like that?
I like it.
I know you do.
I like it. Yep.
Good morning to Grosley in the north and Vieux Fort in the south and the west and the east, and should we call all the names? Miku, Denry, Labrie, Choiseul, Vieux-Fort. Morning to London town. Morning London. Morning to Choiseul, Labrie, Soufriere, Canaries. Before I get in trouble with my mother. Good morning, Canaries. I know you like that, you know. I know you like that. I know you like that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people stopping me or calling me and messaging me all through the day.
Or calling your mother for you.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't call Fontaine Jacques, or you didn't call Agad Lands. You know, these guys stopped me when it was last week. You know, right near work. I said, come on, man. I saw you the other day. I told you to shout out Agad. You know, Agad. And it's not Yvonne either. You know, good morning to Ancillary, Market Street in Ancillary. Dominic Fede, town. Yeah. You know, I saw some things yesterday. I couldn't believe it, man. Some people.
Yeah, man.
Very creative.
The energy in Ancillary.
Yeah, look, hey. Ancillary is bubbling.
Oh, yeah.
All because of Dominic Fede, I'm telling you. Yeah, something else. Good morning to Roseau, Masque. You know, I heard they're fixing up the roads in Masque. But the people over there are so excited. And they're fixing up roads all over the darn place. I mean, something that hadn't been done by, you know, those guys, the horsemen.
Yeah, yeah.
Hadn't been done.
Is that why they're mad that it's being done?
They're more than mad. They're going mad. They're mad. They're so mad they feel.
Anything they couldn't do that this government is doing, they're mad. They're big mad about it.
Oh yeah. The guys are frothing at the neck, not the mouth, on the neck.
People don't eat roads, man. People don't eat roads.
People don't eat roads. I never heard more abject stupidity. But next breath
they're asking when their roads are gonna be fixed.
This, you know, I mean, you know what, Minerva? You just could not make up this. Shh, don't say it. You couldn't make it up. I mean, these guys are special. You know when they say special, what they mean? In need of some serious care. These guys are special. People don't eat roads. Basically, that one have to go down in the books, you know. When you put in, you know, there has to be a dictionary of St. Lucian words and phrases. And next to St. Lucia don't eat roads, you put a picture of the 6 horsemen walking out of the house. St. Lucian don't eat roads. Why?
And then they turn around on the flip side and talk about their roads. When the government is going to fix our road? When is the government going to fix? I mean, make up your mind, man. You can't have it both ways. Is that flip-flopping? You know, on every single issue, every single thing. The issue of the back door, the issue of the suspension of liquor licenses. One complaining, free the alcohol. Another one complaining, don't turn these people to alcoholics on Mother's Day. I mean, make up your mind. Jeez, man. It's like lunacy.
What a compendium of conundrums. Wait, hold on. A compendium of misery. You know, talking about misery, there's that expression, you know, misery loves company. I hear you drinking something. I hope you're not.
Water.
It ain't water you drinking. You have a mug of stuff drinking this early morning. It ain't water. Don't lie. But anyway, good morning to the city of Castro. Hey, you see what I'm saying to you? See what I'm saying to you? Good morning to Independence City. Morning to Wavin Chabot. Good morning to Entrepot. Well, you know that Keeping It Real has a lot of fans in that area. Big time fans. They're addicts. Addicts. And I better shout them out before I get into trouble. Good morning, Entrepot. Good morning. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, Madam Ward, lady with the lovely voice.
So you never said anything about my voice, you know. You never said anything about my voice.
No, but I'm not hearing
your
that.
Everybody know your voice rough. Not around you, man. You want to take it out the radio?
Thank you.
Everybody, your voice needs to stand paper in, man. It's moving out. You hear me?
I hear you, ma. I hear you.
Good morning, St. Lucia.
Early morning, want to make him beer sport with me.
Good morning to my village.
What village?
Banadil, Conway, Darling Road.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas? Don't forget, get shots that vote, Austin. Get shots that vote, Austin. All right, Ivan. Twatty you two? Yes. You twatty there, what time you come over? Get shots the vote, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Good morning to the elderly statesman, Sir Michael Shasta, Sir Peter Josie, and the lady, of course, the lady of the hour, every day, Dr. Sharon Banda George and the frontline team. Thank you for the good work of excellence you guys will be doing. Now, let us start. Where should I start, Mr. Williams?
Where you usually start?
Where you usually start? Boy, I've got so much. I gotta get my own talk show with you know.
Man, look, man, I tired of hearing you talking about that, man. Let me go, man. This one you got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. You're making sport already.
Let me
go along, man. Go along.
The Green Party first. The Green Party for coming out and going to contest all 17 seats.
Oh, they are.
And my only hope is that the Honorable Prime Minister Sir Alan Michael Shasta and his dream team win 2/3 majority, and the other third go to y'all, so that the SLP would be a thing of the past. With the history, they'll be done. They'll be finished. There's no more SLP. My next thing is this here. I find that UWP let STB get away with too much nonsense. Whenever they do the nonsense, the SLP is asking for apology. To hell with that apology. Don't ask them for apology. Tell them to resign. Step down. Resign. Okay? Because, as you know, Ms. Manoba, Ms. Ward.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
The atrocities, as I said before, many times, is Kenny disgusting, arrogant Anthony. This our seabed. All they know is to be vented in prison in Ottawa or Quebec or somewhere. All right? And the pressure has to come on this man, not even to step down.
You got 1 minute, caller. We got a lot of stuff to go to today.
Okay, then we got the Hilaire affair and the terrorist Joachim Henry. Okay, to make it short, the SFP think that they mustn't respect the people who are working for them. You understand? They got it the other way. The people are working for them so they can do whatever they like. It's time to make all of them resign. Give them 0 at the polls. All right, bye.
Thank you very much, caller.
Have a good day.
Okay. So that's that. I have 2 messages already. Greetings from Inglewood Acres, Grand Review. Every time I hear Inglewood, I somehow think it's New Jersey or California. We have another message here. Good morning, Norbert and Minerva. North Dakota is in the house. That's way up there. How's the weather over there? Good morning to you. So, Minerva, let's get down to it. You know, a week ago, and 2 weeks ago, and previous to that, I made the prediction, the rather predictable course of events, and I did it here with you as well last week, Friday.
Yep.
And the week before that. And I predicted that as we are now so much closer to elections, not just the 5th anniversary of elections, which really mean nothing as far as our constitution is concerned, and as far as everyone, including the 6 horsemen, will tell you, but they will still push the date, the 6th of June, as if it has some major significance as far as elections is concerned. And I predicted that we will see soon, and that's a much more reliable and accurate soon than the SLP's $100 million into the economy soon. And I predicted that the usual suspects, the same ones, those who have hijacked organizations for their own purposes and put out press statements and write letters purporting to be on behalf of these organizations.
Yep.
And surprisingly, found out that most of the membership don't even know that those letters were being written on their behalf. And so said, so done, but there are more to come. And we remember them from last year?
Yep.
When they crawled out from under the rocks where they were, pretending, the sleepers, pretending that they represent an organization when it's their own political
Agendas.
or orchestrated political agendas. And we keep seeing it slowly. I told you, I'll wait for it. Wait for it.
Yep.
Wait for it.
And using organizations to do it.
There are more to
Acting as if
come.
you're speaking on behalf of the membership.
The usual. Watch for it. Look for the pretense. For searching for some issue
Yeah.
to blow out of proportion.
Yeah.
Look
Because
for the
you know what
industrialists. Look for them.
Yeah. They're trying to create noise in the space. That's the objective. Because really and truly, what is there to criticize the government on? The government has handled the economy well. The government has handled COVID well. The government is working up to this last minute. The government is working. What is there for them to really criticize the government on? Like, is there any legitimate anything for them to criticize the government on? I mean, the opposition will do what the opposition does and complain about everything for no reason. But think about it, Norbert. There's nothing in the space. They cannot even put out any plans that have excited anybody. And we'll talk about that in a second. But they're trying to create noise and confusion in the space. And they're going to use typical Labour Party playbook. They're going to use organizations that they've infiltrated to do it. And you did predict that that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You did predict that.
Oh, yeah. And guess
So
what,
wait for
folks? Guess what? You know, some people, you pack and hunt, they want to pretend that they have more say, that they have more authority than they do. Yesterday, folks, yesterday. Guess what? Cabot lands again. The same old worn-out recording, but this time with a twist. They, the National Trust, showed up. They showed up on the Cabot lands yesterday with camera crew ektud bagay.
They showed up on the people's private property?
Yes. Yes. They show up there.
On what basis, Norbert?
But hold on. Let me tell you, tonight, on Keeping It Real, I will deal with this surgically, with the facts, with the pattern of behavior, with the evidence. But the National Trust writes to Cabot on Sunday, not a business day, on Sunday, telling them that the archaeological dig or whatever it is that is going to be starting there on Monday, that they're going to be, in essence, telling them what they're going to do. They're going to send 2 people there to observe, to get involved in part of it. I'm telling you. On a Sunday, just hours before the following day, Hadi.
But didn't the archaeological survey they sent, the consultant they recommended, found nothing there?
But I will tell
going
you,
on, Norbert?
I will tell you the whole role of the National Trust. I'll tell you the role because, you know, it has eluded or faded away in the recesses of history in people's minds. From the shows that I've had before last year, and earlier this year about the role of the National Trust. And those of you can remember, those who can remember, and those who will say, that the DCA is advised or gets input from a number of different agencies, the National Trust included. But if you also remember, and we will revisit that, that at one point during the previous SLP administration, the National Trust was removed and did not have a representative as advisors to the DCA. Okay? And you have to wonder why and what happened during that time. But you know, I don't know Mickey Mouse thing. I present you the logical sequence to consider.
No, but it was just April 23rd, so less than a month ago, that it came out that the official findings of the archaeological survey conducted at the site of Cabot, the former Amerindian burial ground, and there was nothing there. The report gives the all clear. The report gives the all clear and clears the path for Cabot to continue development on Point Hardy with some recommendations.
Well, we will tonight we will examine what the role of the National Trust is. We will examine what the role of the DCA is. We will examine what the responsibility is of the DCA in consideration of any advice or information given to it by representatives or the different agencies who have been put in place to advise the DCA.
Yeah.
We will also look at what the law says with regard to the DCA and the persons or the agencies or the organizations that have been put in place to advise the DCA.
Right.
We will look at all of that. So I'm not going to give too much away. Well.
Right. So last week, the National Trust tried with the old prisons. So they tried to put some noise in the space.
And that's what we were
prisons.
talking about when I brought that up.
Last week.
Yeah.
Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Last week or week before?
Last week.
Suing the government.
Yes. Yeah. so that got no traction. So the National Trust is at it again, doing what the National Trust does.
Yeah.
The mouthpiece, another mouthpiece of the Labour Party. The same people who talk for the Labour Party, the same people who talk for the National Trust.
Someone wrote recently that the whole idea and the premise of the National Trust is fantastic. In the UK, there's a National Trust. In Canada, there is other places. But what they have said is that certain individuals in the hierarchy of the National Trust are well in lockstep with political agendas. And that apparently, we in St. Lucia, the faces, the mouthpieces.
The same people, Norbert, the same people who speak for the Labour Party are the same people who speak for the National Trust. And I will continue to say this. The National Trust, the role they play, their mandate, is much too important for that organization to be as politicized as it has been, has been to be corrupted by partisan politics as it has been. The National Trust has a very, very important mandate, and Norbert, you could probably expound on that on your show tonight. As St. Lucians, that's someone that we should guard and we should protect. But you cannot do it when the organization has been compromised as it has been. And National Trust right now seems to be only the mouthpiece of the Labour Party. And they seem to be just trying to frustrate the government at every single turn. Yes, they overstep their mandate. They overstep what the law allows them to do. And it appears that all they're trying to do is stop the work of whatever the government is trying to do. If there's a role they can inject themselves, if there's a way they can inject themselves into it, they do it. And then how far will you go I mean, an archaeological survey has already cleared the development. You go in there, camera crews.
And they sent out an email to their membership asking for volunteers for every one of the days in 3 shifts. For every one of the days that the archaeologist is back there. But, I wonder, I really want to know how the National Trust got with the camera crew to where they did. Because to get to where they went to yesterday, they had to pass on Cabot's private property.
Private property, yeah.
Would they have been trespassing? Did they get permission to go across Cabot lands? But,
something has to be done, because that's beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. The National Trust is overstepping their mandate and their role at every step. And they're behaving like a law unto themselves. Last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a prison. Today, something else. A couple of years ago, there's a dolphin park, the Maria Islands. Looking for all kinds of non-issues to make issues.
Well, I will deal with that tonight. So don't miss that, folks. Don't miss that. Meanwhile, moving right along, of course, a week was up last night right here on Sky FM and GVD TV. And Guy Joseph dropped the Boomba. He dropped it, according to Champagne Mimif. Champagne dropped it last night. Right here, folks. If you missed it, you can go on facebook.com/SkyFMSLU. The video is there from last night. And Guy Joseph spoke about what he spoke about what transpired, about him giving a statement and other people in the church giving statements about how the police were called and arrived there not too long after the church had been invaded by Joachim Henry. And you can go there and watch it if you missed it, or watch it again, or get the parts that you missed from last night's show. But this continues to raise serious questions. The same questions that I've been asking then are the same questions that are pertinent today and will continue to be pertinent. The statement by the leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, on Andre Paul's show, What Makes Me Mad? Well, quite appropriately named, because they go in mad. Saying that he has it on his phone, he has the evidence, man. And listen to what he said, when you see you caught in a time warp and you haven't moved forward to MP3s and MP4s and video clips and TikTok and Facebook and all of that. When you say I have the tape, man, on my phone, I have it. Tapes are gone a long time ago. But that type of thinking is the same thinking, wanting to be the leader of a country, and you're telling people, boldface, without any shame, that you don't eat grovers. Right? You don't buy local bread in your suit. You don't go to the soup, but I eat. You don't go to the supermarket, but I eat food. Duh! I mean, come on. I mean, seriously. I mean, the leader of the opposition talking about, well, I don't go to the supermarket, but I eat food. Yeah, but people thought you were eating rocks. Jeez, man. Boogwenism all around. I mean, come on, man. Come on. I mean, the guy is out of touch. Sorry to say that, but it's the truth. He's out of touch.
Very much so.
You're out of touch.
Stuck in a time warp.
Time warp.
Time warp.
Time warp, and then you come and you only have one passport. You're a black man in St. Lucia.
You're a black man.
You know, you have never lived out of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
You know, what's it? What's the next one? And then, of course, some brain box out there wants to argue over the weekend. You know, when they had their online or virtual town hall meeting with the diaspora. Shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And he's arguing that that doesn't mean that he's saying that he's better than St. Lucians in the diaspora or that they're not as valuable. Of course, that's what it means.
Exactly.
He's setting himself apart. So if that's not the case, why the need to say you only have one St. Lucia passport? You were saying that to say that you are all St. Lucian, that you are not influenced elsewhere, that you didn't live out of St. Lucia for an extended period of time, because that's the context of the statement he made.
Yeah, exactly.
So in essence, you're not influenced by another country or cultures or your experiences or your exposure.
You're real St. Lucian. You're real St. Lucian.
You're black.
You're diluted and watered down.
That's right. You're a black man in St. Lucia.
Like those of us in the diaspora.
Yes. You're a black man in St. Lucia.
Truer St. Lucian than us overseas.
That's what it was meant to convey. That he was, what's the word that they use? His St. Lucianness.
Yeah.
His St. Lucianness is in essence indisputable.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. So if you have two passports, you have less St. Lucianness. You're less eligible to be Prime Minister than Philip J. Pierre.
According to Philip Pierre.
But you see, the thing is, again, wanting to be the leader of this country, the Prime Minister, you're failing to acknowledge that the Constitution of St. Lucia says absolutely nothing about color, about passports. Well, it does. You can only be a citizen of St. Lucia if you want to run. You can't have two passports. So even if somebody had two passports, they would have to ditch it to run. You cannot live in another country. That's what he was saying. The Constitution says nothing about how long you lived anywhere. I've lived out of St. Lucia for a very long time. Is Philip J. Pierre saying that he's more eligible than I am? But you know, the thing is, it is the people of St. Lucia and the Constitution of St. Lucia which will decide that. It's not a badge of honor. But you know, like I said before, and I cannot get away from it again because he continues to say it and he keeps harping on it. I bet you he didn't say that at the town hall meeting on the weekend, that he has only one passport or he never lived out of St. Lucia. Bet you he didn't say that then. I bet you he didn't say that. I wonder why not.
Because of course he has to pander to the diaspora. He has to pander to every group now. So he'll say one thing in one context and say a completely different thing in another. Of course he would not tell the diaspora that. Because basically that's a swipe at the diaspora.
But you know, they always say about, you don't live in St. Lucia, you out there, you want to say about what happens in St. Lucia. Well, you're not in government and you want to dictate to the government what to do?
Exactly.
But you know, like I said,
I don't know that living abroad in any way takes away from your St. Lucianness or how patriotic you are to St. Lucia or how much you love your country. I don't know that, but me living in Canada does not take away any love for my country.
So let me ask you a question. How long did Kenny Anthony live in Guyana?
Thank you.
Huh?
Decades?
How long did, how many other people on the UWP ticket lived, not just went to school, lived out of St. Lucia?
Yeah.
But you see, in talking
Philip
about...
should have lived outside of St. Lucia because I think a lot of his what's what I'm looking for? Insularity, his thought process, his mentality, his myopia. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's
been stuck in.
Yeah, he's been stuck, and that's a problem. Yeah. It's a problem. Like we keep talking about, he's stuck in a time warp. He's stuck in his own little world that he's created.
But he don't dance.
Philippine needs to live outside of St. Lucia.
But he has no rhythm. He don't even dance. That's why he say he don't dance. Yeah. But you should have seen him dancing here with his partner from... you should have seen the dance, boy. You should have seen the dance. You saw that dance with Timothy Polyon, the Prime Minister, and him, of course.
Yeah, I saw.
He don't dance. But if you don't dance, you have no rhythm. You can't feel the beat. You ever see Philip J. Pierre jump carnival? Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But you see...
In 2021, we need a Prime Minister who has that international exposure. You know, not one who boasts about having never left St. Lucia. I've never lived anywhere. You need somebody who has that international outlook, who has the international contacts, who has that global perspective, which he does not have. So I don't know why he sees that something as something to boast about, when really and truly it's not.
So that one passport, that never having lived out of St. Lucia for an extended period of time, except when he went to school, and that blackness he talks about, a black man in St. Lucia. Duh, so am I. So's just about everybody else here. So what's the point you're making in our House of Parliament, where blackness or Indianness or whiteness or anything else is irrelevant? You'll always want to quote Martin Luther King and quote this one is the content of your character.
Yep.
Not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. That's what is important. But you know, apparently, all that St. Lucianness did not spare St. Lucia, according to the man Bermuda. The atrocities, it didn't spare us. You saw St. Lucianness. Let me just speak some bad English. I hope they don't come for me, the grammar and the people out there. You have so much St. Lucianness. You're such a patriot. You have one passport. You're a black man in St. Lucia. You never lived out of St. Lucia. But all of these attributes that you want to claim puts you above and beyond. You're following in the footsteps of John Compton and Stephenson King and Seaga and Manning and Grantley Adams and Rowley and all of them. All of that, for whatever reason, did not seem to help you or assist you in protecting the people of St. Lucia from the atrocities of Grindberg. It didn't seem to have any play in doing anything against Rochamel or Frenwell or the minister's account or Jufali or anything else. So what value is all of that you tout as your saving grace, as your anointing qualities, when they didn't save the people of St. Lucia? So should we surmise that the same way all of these attributes you claim failed the people of St. Lucia back then, that they will continue to fail in you? They will continue to fail the people of St. Lucia into the future? It's just questions I ask, I asking questions, But then,
and while he may not have known about Rochamel and Grindberg at the time, because Kenny Anthony basically did what he wanted to do on his own, without the knowledge of cabinet, without the knowledge of the Governor General.
I don't know.
Even the appointment of Jufali, that was Ernest Hill and Kenny Anthony. I don't believe the then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Alva Baptiste,
well, he signed. He signed.
Well, he signed, yeah.
But what else? Did he know everything?
Right. A lot of it was actions taken by Kenny Anthony in his own judgment, in his own quote-unquote judgment or lack thereof. Because Philippe, really and truly, was almost sidelined when those guys were in power. You know?
Hey, you can't say that. You can't say that. You cannot say that. The man had his letter. The man had his letter that he wanted to stop Parliament to go to his office or his home to prove that he was he was given a letter by Kenny Anthony appointing him Deputy Prime Minister.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Yes.
You could have a position, a position and a title and no influence.
There's no Deputy Minister.
But when he did find out about Rochamel, about Grindberg, about Jufali, what did he do? What did his quote-unquote St. Lucianness do? How did he step in to protect St. Lucia, to protect our integrity, to protect our seabed?
What are you talking about?
How did he step in to protect our patrimony, or what they love to use? How did your St. Lucianness and your blackness and all of that help, Philippe? How did you use it to save St. Lucia from Kenny Anthony?
You have to say it right.
And his quote-unquote atrocities.
You have to say it right. You're saying it all wrong. Which patrimony? Patrimony! Say it right. But then, going back to last night here, because it's still warm inside here. I could feel the energy that was in here last night. About this Joachim Henry
Guy
church
was on
invasion.
fire, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? I see the mic is still smoking over there. Still smoking. And the questions that were raised, the questions that many St. Lucians continue to raise, the questions that I raised here, right here, every day. What caused Philip J. Pierre and Claudius Francis, the former president of the Senate, to believe that it was abundantly necessary, that it was urgent, that it was critical, that they, in whatever way, shape, or form, take possession of the firearm, the licensed firearm, the supposedly licensed firearm, the reportedly licensed firearm from Joachim Henry on the very same day he invaded the Forestier Church, and according to the laws of St. Lucia, committed a criminal offense punishable by a $1,000 fine and 1 year in prison. But could it be that all the circling of the wagons, all the black and white photos, the very same day, were all designed to protect Joachim Henry from any type of prosecution, or to play out in the court of public opinion so much that there would be no incentive, there would be no encouragement, there would be a disincentive to proceed further against him by whoever was responsible for investigating that incident? Because just like a crook in the bank, because when you apply for a visa, they ask you for a criminal record. And more likely than not, if you have a criminal record, you ain't getting that Canadian visa, you ain't getting that US visa.
Nope.
So could it be that the aspirations to unseat Guy Joseph by the very same Joachim Henry, who is his political rival, and rival simply means you're going up against him, doesn't mean that there's antagonism or anything of the sort, although it can, but it's all context. Could it be that this was meant, this incident, this circling of the wagons, this sudden quoting of scriptures, and the insinuations and innuendo and underlying rhetoric, all trying to point the blame at Guy Joseph? I know, and both of them share the same faith, I know that if you go to discuss something with someone, as has been touted, he went there to talk to him, that especially if you went to a church, you would be humble, you would be reverent, you would be cool and easy. During COVID times, you would observe the protocols, you would wear your mask, you would hand sanitize. But instead, you disrupted the proceedings. You invaded the church. Where's Guy Joseph? Or whatever you shouted out, and stamping on the floor and clapping your hands and startling and shocking and terrifying persons in the congregation. But folks, examine this for yourself. You want to go to talk to somebody about a grievance, about something in a church. When you enter that church and you encounter the first person or anyone, because by all indications, Guy Joseph never really said anything to him throughout the how many minutes that he was there in the church, with people trying to calm him down, and he pulling away from people and scuffling and ruffling with people in the church, because the video you saw is just a small part of what transpired, and it's towards the end. But if you're going to a church, to a building that you knew is a church, you enter, you see the altar, everything about it says church, and you all saw the videos that I took out there. Isn't it if you go to the Anglican church and there's a service going on, or lessons, or whatever is going on in the church? Because usually it ain't Kassav playing in the church and people dancing and whining. So it's very quiet in the church. Whether it's the Anglican church, if you go to the Catholic church, the cathedral in town, if you go to the Seventh-day Adventist church, if you go to any church, and there's something going on, it's usually very quiet and one or two people speaking. If you had to go talk to somebody, what would you do? Would you, the first person, the usher or whoever's at the door, as there was, you say, excuse me, you know where Guy Joseph is? Can you get Guy Joseph for me? Or you sit down and you wait until Guy Joseph is available. Isn't that what you would do? You go to the church.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go to the church to look for someone. We've been to church. You go to church, whatever time it is. Or you want to sit by somebody and you don't know where they are in the church. You go to somebody, the nearest person, say, hey, you know where Minerva is? Oh, she's up there in the pew up there, just past there. You ain't entering the church like Rambo. You ain't entering the church like Rambo. In my opinion, that was the moment you approach anybody like that, whether in a church or elsewhere, and you approach them in that manner, you are not going to get a civilized conversation. But going back a little bit, I want to know, because Joachim Henry himself said, you know, because he called the Roro station. And he said that he didn't have his gun on him, his licensed firearm, because he didn't see the need to have it on him, and that his gun had been in safekeeping for 6 months or more. For 6 months or more. But his gun had been in safekeeping for 6 months or more. Philip JP and Claudius Francis never thought it necessary or urgent to get his firearm then to take to the police. So we are left to wonder, to speculate, why did they become so alarmed or concerned then, and within a very short space of time, get that firearm?
Yeah.
And then Claudius Francis talking about at one time he was appointed to receive firearms because and he's made that public. There was an amnesty for illegal firearms and this, that. So what that have to do with now?
Is that to what happened with Joachim? Of what relevance is that? So no, but we still don't know why Philippe and Claudius took possession of the firearm. We still don't know. Nobody has told us. What was the mindset of Joachim Henry?
Was it something he said?
Yes.
Did he say something to them?
Yeah. To indicate to them that they saw him as a threat.
The same day after the incident, his firearm was in his possession for 6 months. In fact, once you have a firearm, whether it's in the drawer, under the bed, under the house, it's still in your possession.
Yeah.
Under the law, the firearm is in your possession. If you go to work and you leave it at home, it's still in your possession and control, and you're still responsible for it.
Yeah.
What was the reason why? And again, what was the reason why? A week and a half ago, another guy stormed the church in Saltibus. There was some scuffle or something that ensued, and he was picked up and taken for psychological evaluation. Has there been any psychological evaluation? Would anyone conclude that there was some psychological thing going on there? I'm asking. Because the reasons that have been given and what was said in there, hey, you send me condolences in a WhatsApp message and you're going to show it to people and tell them you're my friend. That? Because everything else that has been said is just unproven at this point. Philip J. Pierre, in fact, is saying he has the evidence, whatever that's supposed to be, on tape on his phone. I don't know if it's a Maxwell smartphone with micro tape, micro cassette.
Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, if he says that he has the evidence of what Guy Joseph said as some kind of justification, not that there is, because Joaquin Henry broke the law. He broke the law. Philip Pierre should put it out in the public domain.
A whole month?
Because they're using that supposed tape, quote unquote, to justify what Joaquin Henry did. And really and truly, there's no justification for it. But that goes back to the lack of leadership of Philip Pierre. The lack of leadership. Instead of coming out and condemning the actions of Joaquin Henry, because he broke the law, he broke the criminal code. Section 556 and 557 of the criminal code, he broke that day. Instead of coming out and condemning, and again, I use the word with empathy because at the time he was dealing with the death of his son, still no justification for what he did.
Absolutely none.
None. What did they do? Circle the wagon. By the time we woke up the next morning on a Sunday morning, they had their press release out. They had their black and white photos.
Yeah.
They had their coordinated photos with all the reps.
Bible quotes.
Bible quotes condemning Guy, who was a victim of this.
Yes.
Who was the victim of this church attack. This was a church attack.
And they can say what they want.
A coordinated response to justify what Joaquin Henry's crime. That's what it is. So where was the leadership of the Labour Party, of Philip Pierre in all of this?
Kisa?
And look at what has happened. It has created copycat incidents. But that's what happens when there are no consequences.
That is right.
When people see that people, by virtue of your position or who you are,
two St. Lucians?
You have two St. Lucians, exactly. You have a whole Labour Party coming, coalescing around you and creating some kind of buffer for you, or
but the
protecting you,
pattern of behavior,
and making excuses for you. That is what people will see. When there are no consequences, other people will do the same.
What about the individual who is deep in the belly of the SLP? What about the individuals on social media who boiling in the belly of the SLP, who make their reckless, threatening, terroristic statements, like the one that says, make St. Lucia's Parliament your Capitol Hill the day after the invasion of Capitol Hill in the U.S., in Washington, D.C.
And the other statements about putting dynamite under the chairs of certain parliamentary reps.
Yes.
Has the Labour Party ever come out and condemned those statements?
Philip J. Pierre have called him. Nada.
As a matter of fact, you know what their PRO has done? She has come out and justified those statements and defended those statements and pointed fingers at everybody but dealing with those statements.
Else.
And that's what they do. Instead of dealing with what the issue is, they point fingers at everything else. But Philip Pierre up to now has not come out and asked Joaquin Henry to apologize for what happened. At the very least, to apologize, give a sincere and genuine apology. He comes out and says, if the Seventh-day Adventist Church is offended, then if they're offended, then he can apologize.
Conditional.
No, that's not how it is. Joaquin Henry needs to apologize to Guy Joseph. Guy Joseph and his family and the church has been the victim in this. Guy Joseph was attacked in the church. His life was threatened. And like Guy Joseph said last night, the threat on his life, people are basically telling him the threat on his life. I don't think he understands the full scope of it, of what happened there. And what Philip Pierre did.
I think there was a much bigger plan in all of this. And it was designed, and that's my opinion, it was designed to create an embarrassment, an uproar against Guy Joseph that would continue onto the campaign trail. But it backfired terribly. That's what happened there. That whole thing backfired. But I want to read a message that I got from someone, and it says that Philip J. Pierre is parochial. And parochial means having a limited or narrow outlook or scope.
Yes.
The last thing you want in a prime minister.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I've been saying. Very limited and narrow in his thinking, his outlook, and his mentality, in his life experiences, in his world experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do not need in a prime minister in 2021. How could you have a prime minister that's so limited in 2021?
I don't shop in. I don't go to
when
the
we have to
supermarket.
respond to global challenges, you're considering a man who's so limited in his outlook.
I don't.
And it's just his lived experiences.
I don't go to the supermarket, but I eat food. My gosh. But let me give you the floor, because the SLP had announced what's the word, had advertised all over, especially on social media, that on the weekend, was it Saturday or Sunday, they were going to have a virtual town hall meeting for the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
And you live in the diaspora, just as many other St. Lucians.
I sure do, Norbert. I sure do.
And you had to register or apply to get in.
Yeah. You had to send them an email, and they would send you the Zoom link.
Right.
And so I did.
So you did. So tell us what happened there.
So like Norbert said, there was a town hall for the diaspora on Sunday. So you had to send a virtual town hall
via Zoom.
Via Zoom. So you send them an email, which I did. They accepted. They responded, sent me the link for Zoom. I don't know if it was an automated email, or I don't know if somebody actually sent out the email, but they sent me the link. When I clicked on the link, try to click on the link to access Zoom, because when you're entering a Zoom meeting,
you mean on the day of the meeting? Yes,
on the day of the meeting, when the meeting had started, you click on the link, and the moderator still has to let you in.
So hold on, let people understand this. Mm-hmm. You apply to be a member or to be part of the virtual town hall meeting. Exactly. They send you a link that you can access the meeting. So when you click on the link, it takes you to Zoom. You need to have Zoom installed, or there's a web app.
Yes.
And it takes you, there's like a kind of like a chat room, right? Mm-hmm. It takes you to Zoom. Mm-hmm. And if you have certain security measures set up that only people who are invited can attend, then the administrator can, when you click on the link to join, when you click join, they will decide whether to let you in, whether to mute your mic and all of that.
Exactly.
Take it from there. Take it from there.
So when I did that, because they sent me the link, clicked on the link, not allowed in. Tried clicking on it several times, not allowed in. A meeting for the diaspora. It's not a meeting for Labour Party diaspora. It's a meeting for the diaspora. I want to hear what Philip Pierre's plans are for the diaspora overall. What other plans? What is he saying to the diaspora?
But did other people face that same fate?
No, Norbert. No. Again, censorship. They want to allow who they want to allow in. Because they don't want the tough questions. These guys are not even in power, Norbert. And they're already censoring. They already cannot deal with constructive feedback. They cannot deal with legitimate questions. But before I get to the Zoom town hall, Norbert, what they are doing, because I saw it for myself the last few days, where Philip again on his Facebook page is announcing his plans to remove taxes for anybody making below $48,000 a year and so on. And people are asking, where is the shortfall of revenue going to come from? A very legitimate question. Because Norbert, we know that if you're cutting taxes and yet increasing your expenses, you're going to create a deficit. Where is it going to come from? People are asking legitimate questions, not just me. I have been observing their page, removing those comments, removing anything any comment that they perceive as negative quote unquote. That's not a negative comment. That's a fair question.
Yeah.
But they remove those comments instead of addressing it. Instead of addressing the comment.
But let me ask you.
I have been asking that question over and over, not just me. People have been asking them that question. Where is the shortfall of revenue going to come from?
Well, let me ask you a question.
And they have not addressed that.
Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be fantastic for the leader of the opposition to actually answer those questions, to show
Absolutely.
that he understands
Absolutely.
what he's talking about, that it's not just pie in the
Absolutely.
sky, and that he has a cohesive and sensible plan to implement this wild freeness that he's
Yeah.
offering the
Yeah.
people. Wild freeness
Absolutely.
for $48,000. Because let me
Exactly.
tell you something, because it's not only going to be for people who are making $4,000 or less a month. It'll have to be
Right.
the first $4,000 of your
Exactly.
salary, because you can't tell
Of
people
everybody's salary.
$48,000 a year you're not paying tax, and the other
Yeah.
people who making more have to pay tax on that same amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody. If you make $10,000 a month on the first $4,000 of your salary, you will not be paying taxes.
That's
So
right.
it doesn't apply just to the people who make $4,000 a month. It will apply to
Everybody.
everybody. So where is the shortfall of revenue going to come from? But no, but going back to the Labour Party and the censorship of any views that don't support theirs, this is a party that's offering themselves up for governance of St. Lucia. Governance. And you are stifling the views of St. Lucians because you perceive them as not being in favor of your party.
Go and see what they type on the
Isn't
Prime
that the
Minister's
time-
page. Go see.
No, but isn't that the time for you to engage solutions like me, who don't support your agenda or don't buy into your vision? Because that's what Alan Chastney did. I didn't always support Alan Chastney. He sold me on his vision. He sold me on the plans he was doing. He sold me on that, and I bought into that vision. That's what you do. I saw Alan Chastney, was it last year? He walked into Dennery, was it Dennery North or South? Heckled by Labour Party supporters.
Yeah.
Heckled.
In
What
Olean.
did he do?
Olean.
In Olean. He sat down and engaged and spoke to a couple of young ladies who wanted to engage with him. He can walk into hostile territory, sit down and speak to people who don't necessarily
Cicero.
support his agenda.
Cicero. Robert
Cicero,
Lewis want to tell him, what you
Robert
doing here?
Lewis,
What you
Robert
doing
Lewis
here?
is the PRO of the Labour Party.
you
Created
believe that nonsense?
a deliberately hostile environment for him when he walked in there.
Yeah.
But he still took the time. He didn't run. He didn't walk away from the people. He engaged people, even people who are hostile to him. He will stand up and have a conversation with you, a respectful and decent conversation with you. And that is the difference between Alan Chastney and Philip Pierre. He does not tend to stifle the views of people who don't support his agenda. No, he'll engage you. He'll explain his position to you. At the end of the day, if you don't agree with him, but at least he will engage you and he will explain to you what his reason for doing things. Instead of just blocking people, preventing them from preventing somebody like me who's in the diaspora from being part of the diaspora town hall.
So what questions did you really have to ask?
But first of all, I wanted to hear what he was saying to the diaspora. What plans does he have to engage the diaspora? I wanted to hear. But when given the opportunity in the question and answer section of the meeting, I will again ask him the question I have been asking all along. And not just me. Lots of people are asking,
Lots of sense.
how is he going to meet lots of St. Lucians? The plans, his campaign promises, his soon-to-be manifesto promises that he's offering all these tax breaks and he's going to pay for CXC for maths and English, no school fees, no this, no that,
Facility
the
fees
other.
and all of that.
Where are you going to meet the shortfall of that? Because okay, let's use an example that people can relate to. Let's say you have a husband and wife working, they're both working. At some point, the husband says, "You know what? I'm gonna only work half the time. I'm gonna cut back on my hours. I'm only gonna work half the time."
Half day.
It means it's a loss half a day. It means it's a loss of income, a loss of revenue to the family overall, right? Your bills are the same, especially if that family is barely making they're barely paying their bills. They can cover their bills, but they're
tight.
fully budgeted. All things tight. All their income is going towards their bills, their food, their living expenses, their childcare, and so on. Things tight, but they're getting by. When the husband now comes and says he's going to cut his hours, only going to work half a day, where is that shortfall going to come from to pay Lucilec, to pay Flo, to pay for food, to buy groceries? And then on top of that, he's saying, man, I think we need to buy our son a new PS. What's a new PS thing? PS whatever.
PS90, PS4, PS3.
Yeah, exactly.
Game Boy or
That's when
something.
we have to get him some new clothes from thing. We have to send him on vacation. We have to do this. We have to do that. That's what they're basically saying. Not only are they going to reduce their revenue of the government, but they're going to increase their expenses. Where is the shortfall of revenue going to come from? And that is a fair question to ask based on his plans. Because now that we know the world we live in, we know this is a COVID environment. Coming out of COVID, we know that the world, things are going to open up very, very slowly. It will take time for economic recovery. It's not like there are many options for the government to be able to expand the economy. That is the reality of the times we are living in.
Yeah.
So how is he going to do it?
I think they discovered oil or gold somewhere, and he's not telling us.
But if we discovered oil or gold, it still does not belong to us. It belongs to Greenberg. It does not belong to us. So, but no, seriously, no, but these are fair questions. You can't just come and present its plan to the electorate without a thorough understanding of how you're going to meet the shortfall. How is your election plans going to be costed? And he has not told St. Lucia's. In opposition, you could say anything. You're going to build a four-lane highway from Cap-Bassett in the north to Vieux-Fort in the south, and from Dennery in the west to Meekwood in the east. You're going to make gold fall from the heaven. But how are you going to do that? And no, but that's the thing. The Labour Party had 5 years in opposition. 5 years. I would have thought by now they would have come out with realistic plans.
Easy.
Would be easy.
Should've.
Realistic plans. I mean, people are not stupid now, but people are asking for, what are your plans? You're presenting yourself for office. This government, we can see what this government is doing. We see they're a working government. We see what their agenda is. We saw their policies, things. We see what the work they have done for the last 5 years. But you, an opposition party, presenting yourself for governance, and you have no realistic, concrete plans. Tax breaks for everybody. Increase expenses for across the board. Unrequested, unsolicited tax breaks in this COVID environment. Who is going to buy into that? So no, but again, when Philip Pierre is asked the question, instead of removing comments, instead of blocking people like me from participating in the discussion, instead of sidelining people who don't agree with their thing, or people just asking fair questions, answer the question.
But let me tell you
again.
You see, when you really look at the situation in St. Lucia and the world now, we have to be real. Let's keep it real. That's what we're doing right here. People crying, people bawling, things tight, businesses, big and small, closing down. All around the world. All around the world. There are businesses that have shut since last year. Taxi drivers ain't working. People can't pay rent. That's a fact. Let's keep it real. But it's a fact for St. Lucia, for St. Vincent, Grenada, Barbados, Puerto Rico, Cuba, everywhere in the world. The USA, 60 million people. Wrap your head around that number. 60 million people lost their jobs in the States. 60 million. In Canada, in the UK, around the world. Millions. Look at what's happening in India right now. And everywhere else. All of that is happening. Tells you that this is not a problem isolated to St. Lucia. Everybody is trying to find the right way. Everybody is doing different things. State of emergency, curfew, here, shut down this, open pala, restrict movement pala, lock down this location. Everywhere. There is no magic solution. But the SLP wants people to think that they have the magic solution. That they have the magic solution. But you see, the thing is, times are hard because of the coronavirus. That's a fact. And the SLP knows that. The government knows that too. But the government can only do what it can do within its means. Whether you like it or not, it ain't gonna change nothing. Philip J. Pierre and the opposition ain't gonna get into government and magically money gonna start raining from the sky.
No.
This ain't no stripper joint. Okay? Hey, money ain't gonna be raining. And Philip J. Pierre is not gonna make it rain for you.
No, but this is my question to Philip Pierre that they keep removing off their page. How do you plan on meeting the shortfall in revenue? In the best of times, SLP destroyed the economy. That is undisputable. In the best of times, 2011 to 2016, SLP destroyed the economy. We had negative GDP growth 4 out of their 5 years in office. We had the highest unemployment rate ever under the St. Lucia Labour Party. We had record business closures under the Labour Party.
Mm-hmm.
We had the most taxes imposed on St. Lucians under the Labour Party.
Mm-hmm.
We had them increasing the debt levels by an average of 9% year over year. And there was no pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
There was no global financial crisis. There was no terrorist activities. There was nothing. There was no natural disasters, nothing. So how now, and that's all my question to Philip Pierre, how now, in the midst of a global pandemic, are you going to cut taxes and give so much freeness? Who's going to pay for it? No, but that's a question, you know.
Yes.
Who is paying for it? Who is the burden of taxation going to fall on? When Philip Pierre is doing what he plans on doing, who is going to pay for it?
Where is
the money going to come from? Are you planning on increasing VAT? And to what percentage are you going to increase VAT? No, but that is a fair question. Because we know the money has to come from somewhere.
He's going to cut off
you
the 150
spend more than
fee.
you make.
150 on gas.
So is he planning on raising VAT to 21%? I don't know. I just shot an arbitrary figure.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, all that tax cuts he wants to do, it has to be balanced, offset somewhere else.
Yeah.
Who is going to be paying for it? Is the tax burden going to fall on a few, or even a fewer? You know, in the best of times, SLP could not do it. Why would anyone believe these unrealistic plans now? These are my questions to Philip Pierre.
But in the best of times...
And they have not been able to answer.
In the best of times, when our revenues were certainly not affected like they are now, they increased license fees. You were paying $150 for the licensing of whatever it was. I'll get it today for tonight.
I read it.
It went up to what, $600, $700? School subsidy, school feeding was either cut or reduced significantly in the best of times. And what were they saying in the best of times? But something happened. We could not borrow. And you know, a lot of people were saying in the beginning of all of this that the SLP would have been worse. And you know, I like to be objective. I say, but why would they be worse at managing is the same situation? And then I looked at it and said, but the record, you're always talking about that. The record of management. And if they could not do it when things were not even half as bad, how would they be able to do it now? Because it is not a matter of what exists in St. Lucia. It's a matter of management. It's a matter of handling and dealing with the situation.
Yeah.
And if times were the best, and y'all squeezed every ounce out of St. Lucians and still could not deliver, and this government has reduced a lot of the egregious taxes and raises, hikes in all the fees that y'all put in, reduced VAT, spent more money on fixing schools. The SLP spent every year $1 million to repair schools around the island, you know. This government has spent consistently $10 million a year, 10 times more than they spent, and still able to better manage the economy and the affairs of St. Lucia.
Yep.
I mean, what else do you need to realize that the SLP just does not have it?
Yeah. No, but here are some of the main taxes they imposed during their term. So amendments to the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, in which they increased taxes based on the curb weight. So they increased from 150 to 250 to 350. So goods vehicles went from $300 for less than 1 ton to between 700 to between 400 to 700 for over 5 tons. So they increased the motor vehicle fees. In 2014, they increased the excise tax on fuel purchased by Lucelec from 20 cents to 50 cents per imperial gallon, then to $1. This had the effect of increasing electricity bills and the cost of production. They reduced the subsidy on rice sugar and flour. So the government subsidizes those goods.
Malewe!
Yeah, the Malewe.
Poor man.
The government subsidizes those basic food items. They reduce the subsidy, effectively making those items more expensive to the common man.
Yeah.
Yep. They increase the application fee for alien land holdings licenses. That one I don't have a problem with. They increase the rate of customs service charge from 5% to 6%. So in effect, they've made goods more expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. They are proposing to eliminate property taxes to try to attract the support of property owners.
Yeah.
But they're the same people who removed the exemptions on residential properties before January 1st, 2013. That was what the Labour Party was doing, but removing a tax here, putting it somewhere else. Just shifting taxes around to make people believe they're doing something. So why are we going to believe their campaign promises now to cut taxes, eliminate taxes for everybody making $4,000 or less, which will reduce taxes for everybody across the board? Because somebody making more than $4,000 won't be paying taxes on the first $4,000 of their salary. Why should we believe their campaign promises now? The $100 million injection.
So if you're making $1 million, if you make $1 million a year, say you make $100,000 every month,
right?
You still get the $4,000 off,
Yes, you do. Absolutely, you do. On the first $4,000, you won't pay tax.
But that's a man.
No, but if you're making that same $1 million, that same $100,000 every month that you're talking about, your children still will not pay CXC fees on maths and English. Could you believe?
There's no details. No nada.
No. He's gonna eliminate it. The government's gonna pay. It's a free for all. Whether you can afford it or not, the government gonna pay it for you because we have money falling from the sky in St. Lucia. You have a money tree in your backyard.
Not to forget the 120 million he said that he will inject into the economy, just like the old failed bluff of 100 million from way back when.
For job creation. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate went up to the highest it has ever been.
So you build a toilet in your constituency, but you say you're going to build a smart city in a flood zone. Wow.
Yeah.
Cul-de-sac.
Yep.
Just put it, people give him buzzwords, the talk for the day or what, what's the tech thing. So June last year, we're going to build a smart city in cul-de-sac. Papi show. I mean, that is smart city in cul-de-sac for what? So what would you refer to Marcia and Castries East as? What kind of city is that?
You should start building a smart city there. That's a good place to start.
But you live in your constituency and you jump in cul-de-sac. You jumping in the sack. I don't understand. No rhyme, no reason, massive confusion. Every day is another thing. I don't shop at the supermarket, but I eat food. You can't fault him for that. The man, they say he's not eating food, He eating food. I do eat guavas. But buying guavas is local. Do we import guavas? Well, that's supporting the local economy. I ain't eating guavas. So if you don't eat guavas, I don't think you have guavas planted at your home. You ain't eating guavas. You ain't eating, what else? You ain't buying local bread. I mean, just dumb things. You know why? Because Prime Minister Alan Chastanet does that.
Yeah.
Because Prime Minister Alan Chastanet does that. You ain't had nobody else in the Six Horsemen saying they don't eat guavas. Because it's dumb. It's dumb to say you don't shop at the supermarket. Sean Edwards like food. He like to eat. You think you won't see him at the supermarket at some point? You think Kenny Anthony doesn't go to the supermarket? You think Alpha Baptiste doesn't go to the supermarket? I mean, that statement, let's just call it for what it is. That statement and those statements about guava, about bread, about the supermarket, about not dancing and all of that, just plain dumb. Bugwenish. That's all it is. I mean, it's silly. Come on, man.
Yep.
No, I saw...
Yep.
I mean, come on. You want to be the prime minister. You want to be in touch. You need to be connected. You need to be exposed. Come on, man. Where's your St. Lucianness? Where is it?
But on another note, there's a whole lot of talk by your friend Buddy about some flight manifest.
I'm going to deal with that tonight. Trust me.
Tonight? Right, okay.
I mean, I heard the most asinine, and that's a legitimate word, the most asinine explanations and supposition and speculation and innuendo and nonsense about a darn manifest of people who come in on a flight.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, dumb. Absolutely dumb, irrelevant, means nothing, gross speculation and make up nonsense in the sky.
No, but I even saw one of them asking, why was Shaguri in St. Lucia? They're waiting on the explanation. Up to now, they haven't been told why Shaguri was in St. Lucia.
Yeah, he's a
Isn't
diplomat.
Shaguri a St. Lucian diplomat?
How long has he been that?
Decades. Decades. Under many administrations, Shaguri is a St. Lucian diplomat. Does he have to provide an explanation as to why he came to St. Lucia?
I guess anybody
Is there
who
anything
flies,
wrong with him coming to St. Lucia?
anybody who may fly on the same plane as the Prime Minister when he comes into St. Lucia, there should be a declaration about why these people are in St. Lucia too. I mean, this is just the dumb. I mean, this. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah.
It's like arguing with a cat. You know, arguing with a cat that man went on the moon. Irrelevant, stupid. Just like an abbreviation that somebody, DBS, dumb, backward, and stupid. I mean, this is absolute nonsense.
Even if the Prime Minister flew back to St. Lucia on a private jet with Shaguri,
So
even
what?
if, which he didn't,
So
but
what?
even if, so what? So what?
That's what a plane is for. People fly on planes.
But
the
they want
fact,
to do, they want to act as if there's some kind of sinister thing with Shaguri coming to St. Lucia. Shaguri is a St. Lucian diplomat. You don't have to give none of y'all any explanation as to what he's doing in St. Lucia. None of y'all. Not even you, buddy. There's nothing wrong with the PM coming on a private jet to Shaguri in any event.
But just creating some sort of mystery, some sort of intrigue
That's what they do.
about a flight. Talking about, well, the flight was supposed to have come from there, but the last minute they changed. That's why the Prime Minister's name was crossed off and all kind of. But so what if that happened? The Prime Minister didn't travel on the flight.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Prime Minister went to Miami. The information about his trip was given when he left, when he would be coming back, where he would be.
Yeah.
It remained the same.
Yeah.
Or what? But if they cross off his name from the flight from Morocco or wherever, then he was supposed to be on that flight. So why wasn't he on that flight? Okay, well, maybe he saw a frog. I mean, that's how dumb and irrelevant that is. He was supposed to be on the flight. Well, he didn't travel on the flight. That's why his name is crossed off. Okay. But let's just suppose. Let's humor me here for a second.
Yeah,
let's just suppose that there was some type of plan or whatever.
Yeah.
For the Prime Minister to travel to Morocco. Albeit the fact, notwithstanding the fact, that the press release that went out the same day he left said that he would be traveling to Miami, the purpose of his visit in Miami, and that he would be returning on the same date that he did to St. Lucia. There wasn't any indication of anything anyway. But so what if there was a discussion in Miami or before he left St. Lucia or whilst he was on the plane to Miami that he would have gone to Morocco or he would have gone to Gibraltar or he would have gone to Spain or whatever.
To Antarctica or to Australia. Who cares?
But the fact is,
what relevance is that?
He didn't come back. He didn't come on that flight. He didn't go. He didn't come. Big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Well, you know what? I was supposed to go to Viewfort yesterday, but I didn't go and I went straight to work. So why was somebody waiting for you in Viewfort, or why didn't you travel on the bus from Viewfort? Does it matter? Because I didn't go, dummy.
Imagine.
I didn't go. That's why I was not on the flight. I didn't go to Morocco, you idiot. I mean, come on, man.
Imagine how asinine and stupid that old
that is the level.
Grabbing at straws.
But not just that.
Grabbing at straws.
Minerva, not just that. The mere fact that you, well, whoever it was, and other individuals want to peddle to St. Lucians and create an issue where there is absolutely nothing to discuss in that, tells you what they think about the intelligence of the people they peddling that crap to. That's all it does. It tells you that.
Some people, the people peddling that, the people who themselves can't even go to Miami.
Who's that? My gosh.
The person you offer your buddy pass next time you go to Florida.
You know, I'm gonna take back that buddy pass pretty soon. You know, it was been wide open for a while. You know, in the good nature that I am, these things last a while, but it's gonna expire soon. I'm gonna have to use it. If you're not taking me up like, you know, the same way with so much conviction. Just they lie. He lie. Who you think he fooling St. Lucians? When the Prime Minister said that when the new airport comes on in Ewanora, after the whole rebuilding and the new terminal and everything, that St. Lucia will have, what's it called again? Pre-clearance.
Yeah.
But if you haven't traveled to the US in a while, you will not know, you would not have known what pre-clearance is. And a lot of St. Lucians, if you don't travel, you don't know.
No, but at the time when the PM announced that your buddy said the PM lied, that's impossible. The US not going to clear anybody outside the US. But no,
folks,
but there are pre-clearance facilities
in
all
Canada.
over.
In Canada.
There's one in the Bahamas.
Yes.
When I was a student in the
Bermuda.
Bahamas, I used to go to the US. Cleared US
Let me explain to
Customs and Immigration in the Bahamas.
Let me explain to our listeners and viewers. Folks,
Yeah.
US Customs and Immigration pre-clearance is in a number of countries where you have a particular relationship as far as security and other things are concerned. That there will be at the airport, like in Toronto, if you're in Toronto and you're traveling to another part of Toronto, you're not going to experience that because it is a specific terminal or a gate or an area where you have flights which will be departing to the US. And you will go through, in fact, stationed at the airport and in your country would be US Customs and Immigration officers. Right here at Ewanora they will be. Right there in Toronto they are. And some time ago, not too long ago, I was traveling from Canada to New York. You check in through security, and then you go to, if you're going to the US, US Customs and Immigration. They stamp your passport, they check out your credentials, everything. When you get to, you go through all that in St. Lucia. When you get to the US, you just pick up your bag, flip, you're outside. All that does is reduce the workload at the airport, the crowds, the build-up, the delays, everything. But if you never experience that, you don't know. And that's
so
what's
the pre-clearance locations. So there are 16 pre-clearance locations in 6 countries. So Dublin and Shannon in Ireland, Aruba, Freeport, and Nassau in the Bahamas. So Bahamas actually has 2 pre-clearance facilities, US pre-clearance facilities. Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, Calgary, Toronto, Edmonton, Halifax, Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver, Victoria, and Winnipeg in Canada.
Now, what does that say about St. Lucia? What does it say about St. Lucia?
Why can't St. Lucia have a US pre-clearance?
But what does it say about St. Lucia? What does it say about the confidence in St. Lucia?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely. I see no reason why we can't have a US pre-clearance facility.
Does Barbados
but your buddy
have
said that's
pre-clearance?
impossible. Not as yet, but I'm sure that it eventually will.
But you
because
know,
the US is looking to create those, you check in, you
bubbles,
clear customs
if you
immigration
want
and
to
so
call
on,
them.
bubbles outside the US, right?
Yeah.
Especially when there's a high volume of Americans traveling through those places. Barbados is a prime place to have it. St. Lucia is a prime place to have one as well. But your partner said that that's impossible. The US would never do that. But like you said, if you've not traveled to the US in a long time, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
No, but I think we should open the lines.
Yes, I was about to say, folks, lines are open 4560931. You can't call us on WhatsApp, only messages. Give us a ring-a-ling on the ting-a-ling. The number in the studio is 4560931. Don't forget tonight, folks, tonight, Keeping It Real is going to be hot on Hot 7 TV. That's right, channel 115. Trust me, you're going to be hotty. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Maneuver.
Good morning, sir.
It's amazing because, I heard the criticism of the Prime Minister when he made that statement about the airport.
Pre-clearance.
And pre-clearance. And I have been through that coming from Toronto back to St. Lucia, going to Miami. It just shows you the way people who think they know, people who think that they can advise the people of St. Lucia how wrong they are. And another sad thing about it, they themselves can't go past Rat Island. I would like to have a meeting with some of them in St. Croix, and they can't go there. They don't even understand what was happening from St. Lucia to Puerto Rico. And the people of St. Lucia must know that when you leave St. Lucia on American Eagle, those who can remember American Eagle, when they go to Puerto Rico, they become domestic.
That's right.
And the worst thing you can have going to Miami is to go through the international lines. They're so long, so tedious. And it takes so much time to go through a big airport like Miami.
Miami bad boy.
So to have pre-clearance in St. Lucia or any Caribbean island for that matter is a wonderful thing. And that is what we should be hoping for the Caribbean, that the Americans have confidence in us, that we can have, they can put their security, their customs in our country. And St. Lucians must be educated. Those who do not have the opportunity to experience that should be told, it should be explained to them so that they will know, especially right now where there's so much other illegal stuff going in. The Americans can nip it in the bud before it even get on a plane, before it get onto their shores, that they can stop it and they can take care of their problems well in advance. And this is very important for every St. Lucian, every upcoming St. Lucian to know. But you know what the sad thing about it? People that claim that they have so much money, people that claim that they have so much experience, people that feel that they're so educated, do not want the other people to even imagine something like that happening to their own country. Their own country. It's true. And this is the sadness about St. Lucia, And then when they boast and tell you, I'm a St. Lucian, I'm born here. But being born here doesn't mean that you love St. Lucia,
True.
Being born in your country doesn't mean you love St. Lucia. You know how many people that work against St. Lucia and they were born in St. Lucia?
Exactly. Conrad, that's why I believe that they're trying to stop development or stall development at every single turn. Every plan, every project the country has to move forward, to advance our tourism, to advance our infrastructure, the Labour Party is complaining, has a problem with all of it. And just as you're saying, it's like they don't want the country to advance.
My blood boils when I hear them, all of them talk about, I was born here, I'm a St. Lucian. Look at, we're just celebrating a St. Lucian in some country far away who become a mayor.
Yeah, in the UK.
You have St. Lucians who have gone into politics in England. I remember my good friend Bousquet, I can't remember his first name now, but he was on the council for the Liberal Party in the UK. There's so many St. Lucians who have worked and acclaimed. Look at the judge
Regis.
Regis. Proud St. Lucians. And you need to tell me, you have somebody who's a leader trying to denounce, he was born St. Lucia, he's black, and this thing irritates me. Because you know why? He's talking to the foolish people in St. Lucia. And I don't have no recourse in saying that. What we need to do is educate those people who are not so well educated and are not wise enough to understand that there's a wider world out there that they have to appreciate. And we have to try. All our students, all people are trying to get into universities overseas. And we are trying to denounce, St. Lucians. I mean, it's really a sad pill to swallow when you really love your country. And I think that some St. Lucians do not love their country. I know of some of them who, when they land in America and they get carpet and wall-to-wall carpet and free running water, they don't have to go down to the corner to catch water in a bucket like they used to. So they'll never come back to St. Lucia. I made that sacrifice to come back to help develop St. Lucia. And there are a lot of people who would like to come back to help develop St. Lucia. But some St. Lucians, born St. Lucians, where did they study? They went overseas to study, and now they're telling you they hate the foreigners. They went in the foreign man's land to educate themselves, and they come back to keep. They should be really in a drugstore because they're nothing else but retardex. They're trying to retard the St. Lucians from advancing like they had the opportunity to. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much, caller.
Thank you, caller. Well said. Well said.
You know, I have a message.
No, but I have to.
One message. What is this person saying there? I see Kenny Anthony at Mega J all the time buying dog food. Pedigree. Dog food. Well, Kenny Anthony shops at the supermarket, apparently.
No, but that last caller. Go on. Take the call, it's fine.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, Norbert.
Good morning.
Minerva.
Morning.
Norbert, in 2014 or 2015, I think it was, a group of us, some St. Lucia veteran cricketers, we had a tour to St. Croix. And when we got to Dutch St. Martin, which is not far from St. Croix, we were on Liat. All of us had to get off the flight, go inside the terminal, went through security, immigration, they stamped our passport, and we got back on. When we got to St. Croix, all we had to do is just pick up our bags and
walk out.
Catch the bus, you know.
Yeah.
There is a reason for that. As you said, if anybody who was traveling in America would see, especially with the new security measures they have, the amount of queues and long lines you have to go through to check security.
Let me tell you something.
It's an extra it's cheaper for them to check you in your country.
That's right.
Absolutely. Than in their own country, you know.
That's right.
It's true.
Yep.
But the previous caller was talking about Miami. But you get into those major airports like Atlanta or O'Hare, or you get into JFK. And when you get in there, the number of flights that are on the ground, when you get in that immigration hall, and you see thousands of people in lines.
I mean, I've witnessed it more than once, so I know what you're talking about.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, man. It's amazing, man. And it
so having a pre-clearance facility in St. Lucia is actually beneficial to both St. Lucia and Americans.
Yes.
Yeah, but with the current airport we have there now, we could not possibly get that facility now because of what we have.
Sure.
I mean, we are not up to that level at all. But if the new terminal, new airport, it's very easy to integrate that.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. You have to have a specific area. When you go into that area, it's the U.S. pre-clearance area. So it's like
you're pre-cleared, man. Because you don't go back out there in the open. So once they clear you, you remain sanitized.
That's right.
So absolutely, it's easier for them. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Have a great day. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, caller.
456-0931. You were saying.
No, but I was saying about the previous caller, the contribution he made about living overseas. When Philippines wants to berate people who've lived overseas, it helps you, that advances you, but you realize that St. Lucia is not your whole world. There's a big world out there. Go learn overseas and take that knowledge back home.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hey, good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, and good morning to you, Minerva.
Good morning.
Norbert, last week I was having a discussion with two guys who are more steeped in political politics than I am. And they said to me that some elections are good to lose. And he said that in hindsight, the elections that the United Workers' Party lost in 2011 was a good one to lose. Because we were able to rid our party of some questionable elements. Now, I think it's a plausible hypothesis that today, in this time, I think the Labour Party has decided that this election is a good one to lose. I think that all the promises that they are making, as Minerva pointed out, that they cannot cost the shortfalls that they're going to have with all the cuts that they're proposing. And all the nonsense that the leader is coming out with. I think they're just putting those things out there to turn the electorate off. And that don't vote them in. I think they really want to lose that election. And I remember when the guys said that to me, I said, probably that is what it is. These guys do not want to win that election because they realize when they get in there, they will not be able to do anything. And that this is the only government, the United Workers' Party government, which will be able to bring the country back on an even keel. That's my contribution.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Folks, just to let you know that we're going to be ending on time today, 8 o'clock sharp. 8 o'clock today. Today is going to be a very busy day. I have to get a lot of information for you all, so don't miss tonight. And coming up at 9 o'clock right here, man, champagne in the morning.
It's been a game, Ma.
Good morning, Ma. Make it quick.
You forget to tell the solutions. Sometimes you get the clearance. For those countries like Bermuda have a clearance. You go through immigration, then customs, then you go through immigration in the U.S. and then from there you go pick up your luggage. Or if you're on a connecting flight, sometimes you might have to take the what do you call it again? You got to take not the buggy, but the word looking for.
The bus, the connecting bus, the train,
connecting bus too.
Or the train on the airport.
You were ahead.
Yeah.
But one more thing, when Kenny Anthony, make those guys sign a paper, so that telling them that he can make all the decisions on his own. He knew what he was doing, because you know those guys are dumb, backward, and stupid. So you don't want to listen to them. So he make all the decisions on his own. That's all. You know they're dumb, backward, and stupid. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
4560931. Don't forget, we're going to be ending on time today. So just about 2 minutes before we're going to wrap it up. It's 7:48, 12 minutes before 8 o'clock on a Tuesday, 18th of May, 2021. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Norbert.
Morning, how are you?
Good. I'm good. Morning, Universe.
Morning, ma'am.
I'm good. Mr. Norbert, I would like to send a birthday request for my grandson. Today, his birthday, his name is Kalu Jean-Baptiste.
Calix Jean-Baptiste, yes.
Kalu Jean-Baptiste.
Kalu Jean-Baptiste.
Yes. I would like to wish him God's blessing, long life, and strength, and that God will continue to give him the health that he will be able to go to school and obey his teachers.
And that's coming from whom?
That's coming from his grandmother, Martin. I would like you to play the birthday song for him.
Okay, and how old is Kalu going to be today?
Kalu Jean-Baptiste will be, he's 6 years old.
6 years, whoa, nice age. Happy birthday, Kalu Jean-Baptiste. Happy birthday to you. Thank you very much, caller. Have a great day. 456-0931. 456-0931. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Hello. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, no, but morning.
Yes.
I send a message out to the Labour people in Chassin. Babono.
Yeah.
I put my flag up in Babono, that's the Chassin. And the person they take out my flag. Tell the people to stop that nonsense they're doing because
stop
I'm not touching the flag.
Stop that.
I think I'm not touching the flag.
Yeah.
I put in my flags. I don't want nobody to touch my flag. I sending that message out to them.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Flags in Chassin. Don't touch the people. I think there's a general understanding. You know, in all the rivalry and everything, people put up their flags. You don't interfere with their flags. You put your flags another place or around. You know, that's I think that's an unwritten rule, and there's no need for any of that sort of thing. Okay, folks.
Exactly.
Good morning. You're on the air. Let's keep it written. Real. Yes.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Norbert.
Good morning. How are you, Norbert? Yes.
Not so bad. And you? Okay.
Good, man.
Hi, morning.
Yeah, go ahead. Morning, we're hearing you. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. I just want to say that I wouldn't take Philip J. Pierre too seriously. And nobody has to take him seriously because he's not working for himself. If SLP ever win the elections, Philip J. Pierre will not be the Prime Minister on no circumstance at all.
Yeah.
He's just working for his for his daily bread. That's what he's doing. Kenny Anthony will never sit by and let Philip J. Pierre be Prime Minister.
I believe you, caller.
And though as for Hilaire, no, he'll never be sitting down and letting Philip J. Pierre be Prime Minister. But one thing I want to say about UWP, SLP has been working on the ground since they lost the elections. They have been doing all sorts of nasty work. They have been trying people they know that are UWP. They have been working on these people and trying their best. They do all sorts of nasty things to these people, like taking their property, like making other people do them things. And at the end of the day, these people are thinking, why did I ever vote for government and I'm in that situation? I think UWP has to work on the ground. SLP, they are working on people they believe that can, people that they know they can fool, because they are people that you can fool with any kind of nonsense. And UWP has to work on the ground. Yes, they are doing everything for everybody, but at the end of the day, they have to work with their people. They have to see to it that their people are stable, that their people are there with them. Yeah, sometimes they're on the radio, on the TV. They don't want to hear another person say anything wrong about the party. But you have to listen to the people who are saying things on the contrary, because sometimes when you listen to these people, you know where you are.
Okay, caller. Yeah. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
I agree with you, caller. I absolutely agree with you.
Thank you.
Yep.
You know, folks, there continues to be this constant, although the recognition that elections are constitutionally due 5 years, or the dissolution of Parliament 5 years after the first sitting of Parliament, because Parliament is the first start of government, not when you win.
Yeah.
And although the opposition says that they recognize that for some reason, and I leave that up to you to guess or to figure out, they constantly push in June the 6th. June the 6th, watch and see. June the 6th, June the 6th, elections, we call elections earlier. People, it is the prerogative of the Prime Minister to call the elections. It doesn't say, well, absolutely, 6 months before, you mustn't go before 6 months, or you must wait. Again, the SLP wants to dictate when this government calls elections. You all were there, you all call your elections by Chasne en chance. But hold on. They keep saying that June the 6th is 5 years since the last elections. But they're not qualifying and they're not finishing the statement. June the 6th will be 5 years since the last elections when the SLP lost. That's what you have to say. June the 6th will be 5 years since the SLP lost, not just elections. Finish it.
Oh, God.
It'll be 5 years since the SLP lost. And the government started on July the 12th. But of course, another brain box. The brain box is coming out because they want to play like, you know, when they realize that they're not the ones in control. They want to give you the little conditional thing. Elections is going to be sooner rather than later. As if you have any influence in that. Duh, of course, it's going to be sooner rather than later. July the 12th is when is the latest that Parliament can be dissolved. Duh. You don't take any.
It's the silly season.
You don't have to be. That's right. You don't have to be any political scientist, any rocket scientist, any man that not eating grovers or buying local bread or shopping in the supermarket or dancing or whatever. Any little child can figure that out. By July the 12th, which is today's what? The 18th of May, 18th of June, 18th of July. 6 days. So let's just call it a week. 7 weeks to go. That's soon, don't you think? It's not the same kind of soon you all were talking about when you said you'd inject $100 million into the economy.
Immediately.
So in 7 weeks, I can say right now, without knowing, in fact, I don't know, when the Prime Minister is going to call elections, that between now and the 12th of July, the Prime Minister will announce the date of elections. He will announce it. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that. I don't have to be a rocket scientist, and it's not because I say that elections are going to be called soon. Shasne must call it soon.
Yeah.
I don't control anything.
All that hot air is just so ridiculous and unnecessary. The Prime Minister will call elections when they are due. Elections are within the Constitution. The Constitution outlines when elections has to be called, and they will be called. Relax.
It must be called.
Relax. It must be called.
But something that they're missing.
The calls to call election now. Call election now. That didn't just start today.
Show.
The Labour Party has been asking the government to call elections now for the last 2.5 years. So you can imagine halfway in this government's term, the opposition has been demanding that the government call an election 2.5 years ago.
It was supposed to have been last year, December. It was supposed to have been October. It was supposed to have been May this year.
That's when they start guessing the dates. But it's even long before that the Labour Party has been asking demanding the government call elections. When they had their protest march down Viewfort for Maria Islands again, with the same National Trust you're talking about, to save the
Zagayo and Tululu and Zagaya.
Yeah. That's about 2.5 years ago. From that time, they demanding call elections now. It didn't start today.
We'll take one more call.
These guys are restless. These guys are restless in opposition. Restless.
Whilst we're there, happy birthday to Kalu. Happy birthday, Kalu, coming from your grandfather and family and everybody else. Happy birthday to you. Good morning. You're our final caller this morning. You have 1 minute on Keeping It Real.
Yes, I know. And I'm sorry I had to call you back.
Yeah.
I just wanted to remind you and remind the Labour Party, particularly the then deputy leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Philip J. Pierre, that when Dr. Kenny Anthony called the elections, if they were so smart knowing when to call the elections, they would tell him that June the 6th was a bad date. And therefore, leave it to the next 6 months. They couldn't advise Dr. Kenny Anthony when to call the elections, but they want to advise Alan Shastri when to call his elections.
Well said, caller.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister is the man with the key to the election date.
Exactly.
They just have to sit and wait. If they had any wait, they would have advised Dr. Kenny Anthony different. It's not our fault that Dr. Kenny Anthony chose the bad date for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
And that was it, folks. That was our final call. Let's wrap it up there. Happy birthday to Kalu, coming from your grandfather and everybody at home and wherever else they are. Happy birthday, Kalu. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful day and you be a good boy at school. That's what they're asking. 6 years old today, Kalu. Happy birthday to you. And that's it. It's 8 o'clock. You want to wrap it up?
On the dot now.
Yep, that's right.
Yep, on the dot. And by the way, the PM will not be ringing any bell when he calls election. The last person who rang a bell to set an election date, we know how that ended.
We'll ring the bell right here. What do you say? We'll ring the bell right here.
We'll ring the bell right there.
Okay. Well.
Bye-bye, Norbert. Bye, St. Lucia.
Okay. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for joining.
I'm looking forward to your show tonight.
Oh,
I know it's going to be
hot. Don't you miss it.
Hot.
Right.
Hot.
Thank you very much, folks. Another morning episode of Keeping It Real. Thank you for joining myself, Norbert Williams, and my trusty co-host, Minerva Ward, calling all the way from up there in the Great White North. Thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, coming up at 9 o'clock, The Man Champagne with Champagne in the Morning right here on Sky FM. And tonight, 8:30 p.m. on Hot 7 TV, channel 117. Keeping It Real. It's going to be hotful. Don't you miss it. Don't miss it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm not gonna bye.
Bienvenue à sous Sky FM 93.1 et puis Dr. Sigwe lundi pour vendredi. Ça c'est 4h30 pour 8h au soir. Côté Dr. Sigwe ka encore nous. Côté nous ka discuter qui ça qui a fait en pays. Nous aussi à sous Facebook et puis channel 115. Ça c'est DVD TV. Join-moi lundi pour vendredi à sous Sky FM 93.1 et puis Dr. Sigwe encore nous.
We're happy that Mr. Butch will be able to serve us to the extent and serve us very well, which I see to myself that's someone that will be able to work for us.
Mr. Butch, I am wishing you the best of luck in the upcoming election. We love you, we are there with you, we are supporting you. And what can I say? I wish the United Workers' Party all the best in that election.
Thank you, Butch. Thank you, my Prime Minister. We all love you. Yes. You have a vision, God give it to you. Yes. And you is the best Prime Minister we ever get in St. Lucia. Yes. Thank you.
Moi, je remercie M. Ezekiel Joseph pour tout ça qu'il a fait en communauté. Côte-là, Chimé, communauté centrale, l'eau, tout ça qu'il a fait, je remercie en Chaï. Even si je ne travaille pas, je vais poser ça. Je remercie un peu pour ça.
We've moved security from 112 to 119 million. We've moved youth and sports from 4.7 million to 7.1 million, and that does not include the money at NLA. We've moved equity from 54 million to 62 million, and we've moved agriculture from 25 million to 28 million. Mr. Speaker, this is where the money has gone. We have not backed down from our responsibilities to the people of this country, and nor we ever will, because we have an ambition to build a new St. Lucia for everyone in this country.
Hi everyone, I'm Amira Sere and I'm a student at the Monico Pasias Combined School. I'm in grade 6 and my teacher is Miss Stanislas. My favorite subject would be math. I don't normally like it, but my teacher makes it finds a way to make it fun. I also love the positive quote she put up all over the walls. It reminds me to keep going. Also, the new wing is very impressive. The balcony is very large. So at break time, I can eat my snack and, go for a nice little walk. I also like the size of the classroom, so I'm not sticking on anybody because, 6 feet apart. Before, it was a rocky ride coming to school when I normally take the bus. But now, the drivers don't have any complaints now that the district rep fixed it. Before, it was like a rocky, stony road, a dirt road, but now that they fixed it with some concrete and nice tools, it's a smooth ride. I may even fall asleep.
Thank you, Dr. Rigobert.
Hello
everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it. Crossfire, discussing the issues. Norbert Williams, Champagne, Dr. Secret, and Ring the Bell.